I don't think there's been a game that makes you rage as much as Fortnite since Modern Warfare 2.
This map is terrible, it's trash!
It's a game, dude.
Shut up, John! Nobody likes you!
Mom, shut up! I'm playing! What the f is this?
I took a couple shots.
Oh! Get
On!
Remember that game? Or am I just getting old now? I mean, seriously, the salt is real nowadays because I can barely drop in Fortnite right now without my first fight having someone build the Empire State Building in front of me. Like, seriously, it's an epidemic, people. Kids are getting mad. Even my mom is getting mad. Today, we look at 5 kids who took Fortnite way too far. But before we jump into this video, huge thanks to Dragon City for making this possible. Just like Fortnite, Dragon City is a free game you can download on the Apple or Android App Store where you can collect hundreds of different types of dragons just like you see here. Your dragons literally generate gold that lets you buy food and other stuff to make your dragons stronger and even more fearsome. You can also breed these dragons to make other cooler ones and then fight against your friends. It's actually a really interesting concept. There's also PvP modes where you take your strongest dragons to battle against some of the most elite dragons in the realm. They wanted to let all of you guys know that there's brand new levels that have been added into habitats, meaning instead of just owning like 1 or 2 dragons like a noob, me, you can now own up to 9 of them.
That's a lot of dragons!
Honestly though, it's a great game to check out because they're launching a charity for young children who are affected by war and violence called War Child. And by supporting this game, you're also supporting those same kids, so if it's your kind of thing, check it out by clicking the top link in the description. Anyway, let's jump into it. Number 5 is Fredo. When Fortnitemares was introduced to Fortnite, I think all of us at least a little bit thought that it might be a good idea. The idea of getting to fight zombies while in a battle royale environment sounds pretty good for any fan of zombies out there, which in all honesty is probably about 90% of gamers. But when idea meets world, it doesn't always create the experience you thought it might. Sure, they were pretty useful if you were low on shield and could kill a few nearby zombies to top your armor up, or if you wanted a better weapon, you could go after the zombie crystals and big brute zombies that all drop weapons, especially with the golden brute zombie. This massive fellow would drop you multiple items, including a guaranteed gold item. The issue was that he had a lot of health, and taking him out would always take at least 2 full rounds with a scar to the head, which meant that it gave plenty of other close-by opponents time to close the gap on all the noise you're making. Between fighting a mini-boss zombie and another player who has the advantage of surprise, it's no wonder some players began to dislike Fortnitemares altogether.
So it's Beef for you, and today I'm going to turn off the light a little bit so you guys can get a little bit of nice little lighting. I'm going to be playing some solo gameplay for you guys today, and you guys are going to watch how I play solo, so here we go. I was doing so good too! Damn it! What the hell? They keep out! Dude!
You hate to see it, stuck between the low ground, and a golden zombie is extremely hard to recover from, and it seems even though this kid manages to take down the zombie, the fact that it had no time to recover and actually fight the player on the cliff above made it an easy assassination, giving the enemy plenty of free loot. Even though zombies have been gone for a while now, we've seen leaked files emerging of snow-themed zombie-looking creatures, so it's possible that we may be seeing more with the upcoming Storm King event. In all honesty though, I'm expecting a boss fight, and I think it's gonna be awesome. But in at number 4, we've got Rake's Monitor. So how many of you have a sibling, a sister, or a brother? Well, one thing I've learned from a lot of my friends is how much they love to get each other in trouble. The moment one does something even remotely wrong, the other is running to mommy and daddy to stitch the other up. Or you got really lucky and you're the really close type that look out for each other more. You've got each other's back. Well, in this case, you know exactly which type of relationship these brothers have, especially considering it's on a rage list. The younger brother, Danny, is chilling in the basement playing Fortnite when the older brother comes down the stairs already recording. You know he's up to something when the camera's out.
You know Dad got home and like you're screaming really loud, right?
Okay.
Look, he's in a little corner.
Back away, you freaking moron.
Why?
Because last time you unplugged it when I was in a 1v1.
Okay, and that was funny.
No. No, it wasn't.
Why?
Shut up.
But you know, I can just like knock the TV off.
Back! Oh my god, back away. Shut up.
He's gonna like punch me or something. Come on, dude. Come on, Mr. Ninja.
You're not even funny.
He claims he's like better than Ninja or something.
Because I am.
Like that. No. Okay, dude.
Shut up!
Why?
You can't! Come on! Oh.
What did you die?
Oh my god.
Did you die?
Yes, I did!
Gee,
It's not even freaking. Oh my god.
what is this solving, Dan? Dan.
Fortnite is so imbalanced.
You gotta love it. You have to love it. You love to see it. At first, you kind of want to feel bad for Danny because, as he said, his brother's done things like this to him before. No surprise there. And all he wants to do is be left alone to play some Fortnite. Unfortunately, you kind of stop feeling bad for Danny when he absolutely demolishes the TV, something I was surprised to even see Danny. Not rage at his brother, but he took all the rage out on the TV and didn't seem the least bit annoyed at his big bro for antagonizing him. Either way, raging out like this is not something we recommend here at Top 5 Gaming. For one, it's expensive. For two, it's dangerous. And number three, you're gonna get in a whole world of trouble. More importantly, how are you gonna watch Top 5 Gaming if you destroy your monitor? There are more controlled ways to release that rage that don't involve not being able to watch Top 5 Gaming. Number three is kid rages. In all honesty, sometimes things just happen. It's nobody's fault in particular, but for some reason or another, mistakes are made. Unfortunately, things occur and you're left unable to play. It's fairly safe to say that a lot of people watching have probably been in the middle of their own games where the power to the local area has gone out. Maybe the internet's down to local weather conditions, and you got to wait a few days for it to be back up again before you can even think about playing. But these things happen. But when it comes down to the individual, like you or me, it happens so little that it can still take you by surprise and leave your plans ruined for the weekend. If you haven't learned to control your temper yet, then you might find yourself with more problems than just dodgy internet.
I'll get my seat to my cool. I'll get my seat to front.
Oh, no, no, no,
So it's not exactly clear as to why his game crashed, but either way, he was sent back to the lobby. Most likely his mom or someone cut the Wi-Fi, which seems to be the popular method for parents and trolls at the moment. But he's just a kid, so you know what? I can forgive the crap. That's just to be expected sometimes. When you start throwing things around, then once again, it's gonna cause more problems than just being unable to play Fortnite for that evening. He doesn't get in further trouble, that is. He's still gotta find out if the controller still works. At that age, I think I'd be saving for months before I got close to even having enough for a new controller. But in at number two, we've got a kid freaking out. Sometimes a lot of gamers try to take into account how they treat their teammates, and sometimes it's to be more considerate to players or efficient for the game, but then you also have the few that love to do everything they can to insult and belittle people. These types of people tend to use the hidden identity factor behind video games to unleash their rage on others. You'll know these types when you try to reason with them, and they seem to have no understanding of a logical conversation. You've also got trolls and pranksters, which kind of sit in the middle depending on your view of them, but even then, a lot of them still do it in controlled environments or in a respectful manner, sometimes. But trolls aside, when you're trying to play a battle royale game and win, having someone communicating, clearly it's key. But if you happen to get partnered up with someone like this, then you might as well back out and search for a new match. I mean,
okay, where are you going?
We're going to Pleasant Pack.
Okay, you go to Pleasant Pack.
Okay, I said that.
No, you didn't. Jump right now.
Dude, what the frick? Why do you jump?
I'm the boss of you. No, what's your highest kills?
4.
Mine's 8.
Well, you suck.
No, I don't. I'm better than you. Okay, where are you going?
The Pleasant Pack.
Oh my god,
What do
you're
you
so
frickin'
slow.
mean? What do you mean I'm faster than you? Dude,
Oh
why
my
are you?
god, how old are you? 2 years old? You 2
Why
years
is your name
old?
Pencil? There's no pencils in this game.
Yeah, the pencil's in my pencil's in your asshole.
Why would there be a pencil in my asshole?
Cause you're weird and you like pencils. Mom.
Thanks for the gun.
That's what you. No, mom.
Hello? This kid's mom just kicked him off because he was saying curse words.
I mean, you don't really hear the kid's mom at the end, but I'm kind of glad she came in and turned it off. I don't know how much Kool-Aid that kid's been drinking, but he was letting off some steam for sure. To be fair to his duo partner, Bunny was giving him some small banter back and forth, but even the mom could hear the kid cussing from the other room and didn't even say anything. She just came straight in and turned it off. That's one mama who is not taking anybody's tantrums. And for the honorable mentions, we've got Break Controller. Now, raging is something I can imagine everyone will go through at some point playing video games.
Dude, what is this spawn? What is this? Fuck it!
I know I've done my fair share. You learn to let loose that steam in a better way eventually, but it's pretty much impossible to be immune to it. The problem with raging is it's almost uncontrollable. For a lot of people, it's that instant surge of energy that you just need to let loose. And what's the first thing that's in front of you? Well, it's usually the controller, your hands, or the TV or computer in front of you. Rip old Trusty, if you guys watch Noah J. This is where people end up releasing a lot of that built-up energy. I know when I was a kid, I used to headbutt my Game Boy Advance. Luckily, back then, the handheld devices were made out of bricks, a bit like the old Nokias, but nowadays the items are a lot more sensitive and can be easily damaged.
I've done almost 13 games in a row. I'm about to get Victor Royale this time. Watch! Bro, if I don't win this, bro, I'm done. I'm done.
You gotta make sure you build, because if you don't build, he is so bad at this game.
Shut up!
How you didn't even get the circle?
I don't care.
Come
on, Nick! Come on, Nick! Come on! Come on! Oh my god, dude, I'm so...
In all honesty, I know how he feels. That man was probably on 2 megabytes of download speed by the look of that gameplay. He was lagging all over the place, almost no control of his character. Chances of him actually winning that fight were pretty slim too. It's probably what caused him to get so angry in the first place, but having to continuously deal with that lag after the game until eventually he had enough, taking the controller completely out in the process, ripped the controller. That thing was literally shredded. Looks like he won't be playing for a while, but let's just hope he had a second controller like old Trusty. And at number 1, we've got Slappy Rage. Start punching the box. Seeing streamers rage a lot is no surprise. They spend full-time hours playing games on repeat while being watched by an insane amount of people. A lot of times the pressure is just too much for people. A lot of them have taken to using a boxing bag or device they can freely hit to take out all their anger on and release energy that inevitably leads you to breaking something. It's a good way to let loose, but you have to first learn that lesson. Usually you end up breaking something you really wish you hadn't, and you realize you need to not react like that and find an alternative method. Either that, or you just need to learn to chill out and not take things so personally. It happens to the best of us, but like Slappy, in this clip eventually we do to get it down. Some of us do anyway, but some of you out there will probably still end up 50 years old raging at the kid who just killed you by accident, so
Your glasses are... Oh! Dude!
So Slappy's known for being an insanely good player of Fortnite, but he does tend to rage a lot. This isn't the first time he's been seen raging on stream. Sometimes he'll actually hit the desk, which, even though I doubt he can break, it could cause other stuff around the area to get knocked and broken, but it seems you can actually see him starting to learn in this clip now as he's taken to the trusty Cheez-Its box to take that anger out with nothing to worry about being broke except for maybe a box full of crumbs. He's able to now blow off some steam. But that just about wraps up our list of the top 5 kids who took Fortnite way too far. Click that like button if you've enjoyed, subscribe to the channel if you're new, push notifications on, follow us on Twitter, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming. If you love Top 5 Gaming, tag us by clicking the Support a Creator button in the item shop and use code T5G. If we get enough support, we'll do more giveaways, open lobbies, and stuff like that to give back to you guys.